Good evening. Am I audible?
Good evening.
Okay. So I think now we can start our today's problem solving session of week 10. And meanwhile, whoever will be joining, I will be admitting them to the session. So let's start the today's session. Let me share my screen. Okay, fine. So I think most of you are joining. My screen is visual.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me project. So welcome to the problem solving session for the NPTEL course in Sustainable Architecture week 10. And I, Sudhir Kumar Gupta, will be taking your session this week also. And as I have discussed in the previous week, this week initially I will be starting with some sort of problem questions, so simple problems that can be formed with the week 10 lecture videos. And after that, I will be proceeding to the previous year assignment questions. Then, if some time permits, then we will be starting and analyzing how to do the building load estimation, or how the that software that has been taught to you, whole building simulation software, how it works. That thing also we will be discussing later on if some time is left. So before starting to this and going towards the sample problem, I would like to give you taste of one of the very good and interesting site where you can at the initial stage of your design. We enter admit someone. So maybe some of you have also heard about it. So how many of you have heard about ECBC climate zone finder? Anybody of
Yes,
you have heard about it?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, pardon.
I've heard about it, sir.
Yeah. So for others, all of you, what about all of you others? Have you heard about this site, ECBC Climate Zone Finder?
No,
Elena?
sir. No, sir. Since I'm not an architect student, I'm
Okay,
not sure about it.
fine.
But
So this is very, I could say, this is very initial stage of your design, and just to take a brief idea how the building should be and what should be the preferable architecture in some particular climatic zone. So my screen is visible, so I can show you. It's very easy also through this. Fine. So you can in the Google along with me. You can also type ECBC climate zone finder. So you can open the first link, then you will find here this is a ECBC code, all of you know very well, and there are also various other that standards and codes that have been mentioned here. So this you can go in detail what should be what comes under the building envelope. These are the options that it is showing, and what comes under the comfort systems. So this one by one you can go in detail of each one and what standards it should be followed while designing your building. So what I will do now, I would just I try to make you familiar with this interface. And as all of you know that there are mainly in India it is five climatic zone it exists. So it is mainly divided into five climatic zone: cold, composite, hot, dry, as it is written in the second line. You can see here also temperate or warm humid. So based on that, what should be the suitable passive strategy, you can say, or design strategy that can help you in saving the energy and optimal performance of your building. So as I can mention here any of the state, like as I am mentioning, the first starting with the cold climate condition. So if you will find go towards the cold, then you will find this, either you can type this Himachal Pradesh, Simla. So in that cold climate you can generate report, then you will be finding, let me close it. Okay, so from here you can download the report or you can directly view here, view it here only. Okay, so it is getting created. So here, as you all of you can see, this is the this ECBC climate zone finder report for the state Himachal Pradesh or district Simla I have entered. You can choose any other whichever you prefer. So in that cold climate condition is existing out of the 5 climatic zone that I was discussing about. So in that, which design strategy you should opt. So in that first, it has been suggested that uh, you have to focus on the surface area to volume ratio. In the cold regions, the building shape needs to be compact. Or why it should be compact? So that you can reduce the heat gain or losses from the building. If there will be less surface area or smaller surface area, then it's obvious that heat transfer rate will be lower. So if you are maintaining a hotter climate inside your building, so it should not lose your heat of the inside of the building. That's why this surface to volume ratio of the building should be as low as possible. But there might be some of the design consideration when you will be doing, then there might be some sort of obstacles will be also there. So you cannot do is as a most minimum case, but in that regard you can design or choose the building such that it should be having minimum surface to volume ratio if you can. Second one, what it is suggesting, that consideration of sun space. So sun space is nothing but just creating a area where you can trap the heat of the sun. So in that, mostly as you all know that south facing is preferred when we try to trap the solar energy or sun energy to catch the maximum heat inside the building, so that this side of your building, it will be creating most more like a greenhouse effect, where the long this shorter wavelength will be coming, but longer wavelength will not be able to go out of the building, and it will be just striking again and again and creating a hotter environment adjacent to your wall, and it will be heating your building overall, and that is preferred in case of colder climate conditions. And this is one of the design strategy which we call a storm wall, that you know very well. And this in the lecture third also I have explained how it functions or how it works. So hotter air will become denser, it will rise up lighter, it will the hotter air will become lighter and it will rise up, and when it will be exchanging heat with the inside ambient indoor air, so it will be becoming cooler, then again it will be going to the down due to this higher density. So I mean this kind of circulation of air is prevailing, and the as well as the sun space that I was showing, effect of utilization of that one was also done, but in this the direct exchange was not able to happen. But in this regard you can directly exchange the hot air and cold air and circulate it as per your requirement, and these are just openings, or you can put some sort of flaps also, which can these are not permanently open, I mean to say that you can adjust as per your requirement. So this kind of strategy can make your building most suitable one for this climate condition. Are you people getting what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, similarly for other states also, like for if you will going towards say Rajasthan, that to be desert region, so then you can choose any of the city from your uh, where you are Jaisalmer, as I am saying there hot and dry type of climate condition is existing. So in that regard, what should be focused while designing the building? So there also, as it is suggesting, let me open this also. For that climate, how it is suggesting, what should be the design strategy for that area, like Rajasthan, where hot and dry climate condition is existing. So there also, you what you can do, you can just try to minimize the surface to volume ratio. So in that regard, as both the cases in cold climate condition and hot climate condition also, you just do not want your, like in that condition of cold climate condition, it was that you don't want your warm environment or warm air of the room to get transferred or heat get lost to the surrounding. Similarly in this regard also, in case of Jaisalmer or hot and dry climate condition, you don't want the outside hot or outside heat to enter into the building. That's why you want to reduce the heat gain. That's why in that regard also, if you want to reduce the heat gain or heat transfer between the outside environment and the indoor environment, then you can focus on this strategy there also. And if you will go for the second type of strategy, then you will find, let me admit someone. Okay, so second kind of strategy, it is showing to be evaporative cooling. So this kind of strategy also you can opt it. This evaporative cooling falls in the regions where there is a humid climate conditions. So this evaporation will also add up some of the humidity to the atmosphere, and overall it will be increasing your relative humidity or RH of the location or region. So in that regard, where there will be that hot and humid climate condition as it prevails in the Assam areas, so there you don't prefer this kind of cooling strategy. But in case of hot and dry climate conditions like Rajasthan, this strategy can be a beneficial one. And how you can provide this evaporative cooling to your building envelope, that it is shown through the diagram in this figure, where you can see this evaporative cooling is uh, mostly you can build some sort of a water pool is it is saying, or you can build some sort of fountain, or some sort of cooler is also a kind of example of this evaporative cooling only. So you mainly this cross ventilation arrangement is preferred in this kind of evaporative cooling, where there is the hotter air that will be evaporating the water, and it will be creating a cooler environment nearby. So that also you can utilize in the hot and dry climate conditions. Third one is the cool roof. That also discussion on this strategy also was discussed in some of the lectures. So this cool roof, as you all know, this mainly reflects most of the sunlight and do not allow to absorb get absorbed into the roof or get absorbed and radiated inside the buildings. So if you want most of the energy or solar heat to be reflected back, so you paint with some of the material, or you put some sort of layer on the roof, reflecting layer, reflecting material layer. So this strategy you have heard about, but where to apply or where for which location it is suitable? The passive strategy which is suitable for one location may not be suitable for another location. That's why proper selection of these several passive strategy or several design criteria is very important. Otherwise when you are trying to make your building the energy efficient, it will be not. Let me admit someone. So 11 people till now they have joined. So I hope this thing is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, similarly you can put some other states or some other region of your country. So through this you can find what would be the design strategy for that area or for that region, and you can explore more about this ECBC climate zone finder. You can go into different subsections and you can note down the different standards. Like if I am clicking on the opaque construction material, then again it is showing about what should be the uh, value of, or what should be the grade that should be used for the construction of this material. All the things and information have been mentioned here that you can go through in detail. I'm not going into this because we will be performing the whole building simulation in the design builder software. That will be the main focus of this course. So this was one of the tool that people generally use with not having much idea about the various simulation tools. Another thing, that thing I think it has been discussed also in the class, that you can also opt for this climate consultant software. In that software also you can do some sort of initial stage analysis for the suitability of different passive strategy for your location. So I hope that thing also have been covered, and most of you know about that climate consultant software. Or should I discuss or give a brief about that also?
It
Everybody.
has been explained in the class, sir.
Okay, so I think you can go through and dig that software in detail, so you will be knowing in much detail. So I will be now starting our today's session with the problems, simple problems that we were doing initially. So let's start with the this lecture 46. So problems, simpler problems that can be formed through the lecture videos. So that was based on the vernacular architecture part 1, as all of you know, and let's see how many of you can answer the questions based on the understanding about the vernacular architectures. And different examples of the vernacular architecture was also shown to you. So try to give answer to these questions based on those pictures also. Here is the first question for all of you. What is the key characteristics that makes vernacular architecture unique from one place to another? So whether it is use of modern technology or local resources and culture, universal construction method, and important construction materials. So I think this question you can easily, yeah, all of you have given your answers. B, and all of you have given the right answer. B is the right answer for this question. That is the local resources and culture. This is the key characteristic that makes the vernacular architecture unique from one place to another. This vernacular architecture is shaped by local resources, traditions, or making it unique to each regions. So this was discussed in the third slide of the video lecture that I will be. You can refer also if you are having some sort of doubt with the definition of this vernacular architecture. And I think most of you are clear and given the right answer only. So let's move to the second question of today's lecture 46. Here is the second question for all of you. Why is bamboo used in the traditional Thai houses? What was the focus of using these bamboo materials in the traditional Thai houses? What do you think? Out of the four options, which should be the most suitable one? So for this also, I think now everybody will be able to mark their answer. Let me see how many of you are correct. Yeah. So for this also, all of you have given your answer to be B, and B is the right answer for this question number 2. Since this bamboo is chosen because it grows quickly and is locally available, making it sustainable and suitable for the local environment. So that's why it is considered in the houses of Thai. Fine. Let's move to the third question then, and let's see how many of you can answer to this question as well. Here's the third question for all of you. Which material is most commonly used in the construction of houses in the Syrian village of Turkey? Bamboo, stone or wood, glass or concrete? So all of you give your answers in the chat box, and if somebody having some sort of doubt with the answers and the explanation, then we can discuss it in detail for the particular question. Otherwise, I will be moving to the next question. So anybody if finding some sort of query, then he can ask directly in the chat box, either uh, by unmuting their mics. So for the third answer, let me see. Okay, so for third also B, stone and wood. So all of you have given the right answer. In the Syrian village, the most commonly available material is stone and wood, and those are only used for the construction, as explained in the case study as well. These materials are abundant in the local areas, and they are well suited for the cold climate conditions that prevails there. Fine. So can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here's the fourth question then. Traditional architecture does not incorporate sustainable practices. Is it true or false? So I think this can be easily answered based on your understanding of the traditional architectures or vernacular architecture, you can say, and this all of you should answer correctly. So none of you have answered true. All of you are going in the right direction, and false is the right answer for this question. These traditional houses or traditional architectures, they often integrates the sustainable practices by utilizing the local resources or responding to the local environment, you can say, and social needs as well. So this can be called as a practice towards sustainable, or it is a kind of sustainable practices. So saying that traditional architecture does not incorporate sustainable practices, it is absolutely false. So can we move to the next question, question number 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here is the fifth question for all of you. The design of the traditional Thai house is optimized to respond to the warm and humid climate of Thailand. So what do you think? These traditional Thai houses, they are well optimized, or they are designed in order to respond to the warm and humid climate of Thailand? So consideration of the climate condition in the architecture or in the construction of the traditional houses, it has been done or not? That is the question.
True, sir.
Okay, so all of you have given the right answer. Two is the right answer for this question. And some of the examples was also discussed, like steep roof or ventilated walls of the traditional Thai houses. They are designed in order to handle the this heavy rain, or the provide the ventilation in the warm humid climate conditions that exist there. Fine. So let's move to the sixth question. Here is the sixth question then. Which material is used to make the shutters in the windows of a building in the extreme cold climate conditions? Out of the four options, so glass, wood, metal, and plastic, which you would be preferring, or which has been preferred in the in the cold climate condition, it has been marked. So you can take the example of houses of the Ladakh or Leh. B. So all of you have answered it correctly. So in the cold regions, these wooden shutters, you can say, they are used in addition to the glass, or why it is done, why only wood is done, in order to keep the cold out, because as you all know, this wooden shutters is it will provide a kind of insulation and prevent the cold air or the warmer this colder atmosphere separate from the ambient the inside indoor environment. Fine. So let's move to the seventh question then. I hope this will be also answered correctly. What is the primary reason for circular shape of these bungas in Rajasthan? What will be the advantage of circular shape? Okay, so all of you are answering this question also to be true, and all of you have given the right answer only. So this, as I was discussing earlier also, in the as you can see, it is talking about Rajasthan. So as this ACBC climate zone finder study I was talking just before starting the sample problems. So there also you have seen we have to minimize the surface to volume ratio uh, in order to avoid the heat gain. So for that, I was talking you have to minimize the surface to volume ratio. So how you can do it? Which shape you should be preferring? So circular shape is the most prominent one. But if you are not able to construct your building, or your building design is not such a way, or the space constraints are there, so you will try to be near to that circular shape. That's fine. So I think it is clear. That's why all of you have given the right answer also. So can we move to the eighth question then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here is the eighth question. What is the material used in the bungas that provide durability and protection from rain? So this one I think all of you are giving the right answers only today. So what will be the right answer for question number 8?
B.
Yeah, B. Mud mixed with cow dung. That will be the correct answer for this question. And when you these bungas or the houses are coated with a mixture of this mud as well as cow dung, then this mixture will provide durability, and this will also act as a protective layer against the rain, similar to plaster. So that's why it is done in those areas. Fine. So let's move to the next question, question number 9. Here is the question number 9. So bungas have large windows to allow for better ventilation. This is true or false? So construction in that area should be larger windows preferred. If there will be larger window, you also know the incoming sunlight will be interrupted more. That is done in the colder climate conditions mostly. So let me see how many of you can understand it well and answer it correctly. False, false, false. 4 people are going towards false. Let me wait for others also to answer and give their points. Others also, let me show you the question. Whatever you think, you try to answer for this question. So whether large windows are good for bungas in Rajasthan, or directly you can understand whether large windows are preferred in cold climate condition or hotter climate conditions. Because bungas these are in the Rajasthan, so they are in the hotter climate conditions. Yeah. So now all of you have answered it correctly. So false is the right answer for this question, and this they are having very small windows, not having large windows. Why? In order to minimize the air ventilation or to reduce the glare, you can also say, which is essential in the hot and dry climate conditions. which are having higher solar radiation. Fine. Then let's move to the 10th question. Here is the 10th question. The stone and the wood are primary materials used in the construction of houses in Simla. Is it true or false? So, for people who are facing some sort of issue, for this question they can refer to the. Let me not tell you the slide number as well. So, discussion on this was made on the slide number 13. I hope it, yeah, it is 13, where the Jubbal, Simla houses and different practices and materials were discussed. So based on that, you can answer to this question whether this is true or false. Okay, so Trisha is having mix of answers, and rest all of you are in the right directions. Fine. So the correct answer is true for this question, and I'm very happy that all of you have given the right answers to all the 10 questions of lecture 46 or the first lecture of week 10. You understood it very well. So let's move and expect the same from the next lecture with sample problem questions as well. Here is the next lecture that was also on the topic, similar topic, vernacular architecture part 2. So there also some of the examples were shown, and based on that you can answer to this question as well. As here is the questions. First question for all of you: which material is primarily used to construct toda huts in the southern India? You can answer to
Option
this
D.
question. Yeah. So all of you try to give answers in the chat box. So I am again showing you the questions. Try to read it carefully and then give your final answer, all of you. Then we will move into the next question after discussing onto this question. So which material is primarily used in the construction of Toda huts in the southern India? So you can refer to the lecture second. Here you can refer to the lecture second for lecture 47 of this vernacular architecture part 2. There in the slide number 13, or the first slide of this lecture, the discussion about the Toda hut of the South India was mentioned, and different pictures were also shown. So based on that you can answer to this question. So for this particular question I got A also, B also, C also. Anybody wants to add to this answer?
I think C, sir.
C. So B is the right answer for this question. These Toda huts are primarily constructed using reeds and thatch, which are abundant in the local environment. That was discussed with you. And the design of the huts varies depending upon the amount of rain and availability of the resources that, like mud or stones, but the raw materials generally remains the same. So these goods and thesis, this option B will be the right answer for this question. You can look into this again. And other materials, these are not primarily used in the construction of these Troda hats in the southern India. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move to the second question of this lecture. Which architecture feature characterizes the traditional Yemenis houses? So opening into those pictures also you can see discussion about these Yemenis houses. It was done in the slide number 21. So from that you can answer whether the wooden arches or the stone arches with white ornaments or large wooden beams or metal roofing. Which out of the four options, which of the following feature was the feature of the traditional houses in the Yemenis or Yemen you can say, and the houses were called as Yemenis houses in fact. So let me see how many of you answered it correctly. Okay, so this time all of you have given it correctly, answered it correctly, given the right answer to that. So stone arches and the white ornaments is the right answer for this one. So, and from the images also you can see all the buildings, they were only made up of these stones or this white colored marble. That's why it is called as white ornaments. So I think everybody is fine. Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So parallelly you can open the slides also if you are facing any sort of difficulty, so that it will be uh, understood well clear now only. Fine. Let me open to the third question. To the tenth question. Here is the third question. The design of the Muslim mud hut incorporate thermite glue, which makes the structure resistant to mild rain. So discussion about this thermite glue was also done. So based on that, you can answer to this question as well. That was used for the waterproof huts and protect them from rain. So whether this question number three is true or false. So two are moving, three are saying true. Rest also try to give answers. Then we will move it to the next question soon. Okay. So four of you have answered it true only. So you can see this statement, and this in the hills this thermite glue was mentioned in the lecture videos. So this statement is true, and with the help of this you can make the these structures resistant to mild rain as well as. So I think the statement is well clear. Can we move to the next question, question number 4?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the fourth question for you. So which kind of material you will be choosing for building houses in Leh Ladakh out of the four options, where the extreme cold climate condition is prevailing? And I have just now done the ECBC climate zone finder study of this particular region, so you must have seen which kind of material, which kind of passive strategy is preferred there. Whether you want to make the structure such a way that it will be able to store most of the solar energy that is existing, that is occurring in the daytime. Five. So most of you have answered towards answer A. and very less of you have answered towards B. So what does this thatches do?
Oh no, sir, answer is B only, mud and clay.
Yeah. So you have not answered here. Elena, you have answered it as A. Okay. So B will be the right answer for this question. So these thesis will be providing insulation as well as these mud material will be locally available. That's fine. But the main focus that while construction of these houses you will be doing that you will be building the thick walls so that it can act as a storage medium where it can store most of the sunlight, and during the night when the temperature goes much sub-zero or much lower, at that time you can utilize that thermal energy storage system or the thermal mass to maintain the uh, comfortable indoor environment inside your houses. So B will be the right answer for this. Thatches will provide the insulation as well as these thick mud walls will be helping you to store or act as a thermal energy storage. Fine.
Excuse me, sir. I have one question.
Yeah.
Why in Leh, like there is a snowfall, okay? So why they have flat roof?
Hmm. So this, it's not first of all it's not obvious that it should always be having this flat roof only, and second thing is that when you are having this flatter roof, then in that regard the radiation it can solar radiation which I am talking about, it can easily get entrapped or it can store more of the solar radiation, because when you will be constructing this uh, false roof kind of thing or this pitched roof you are talking about, so in that case sometimes it becomes difficult to trap most of the sunlight. It is good for the solar radiation, that's this snowfall as you are talking about. But when we talking about this radiation, so if yeah, you can also think if the sun is moving and the if your this roof is not flat, or if it is just facing one of the side, so if it is facing one of the side, so for most of the time only one of the side of the roof can only get the sunlight, other will just having the shade of other. So solar radiation is the main source of heating or this heat gain in the those regions, and heat gain is very necessary in those regions. So in that regard, if sun is moving to the other side, then it will other side will be getting shade. So uh, in order to trap most of the sunlight, it will become difficult. Are you clear now?
Yes, sir. But what happen if during the winter times, during the snowfall time?
So this snow will get accumulated and it has to be cleared regularly in those time. There will be issue with that also. But if you are constructing in that perspective of this radiation in trapping most of the solar radiation, then that those will be better. And if you are having this pitched roof or inclined roof also, in that cases also it's not always obvious that this will throw or this will um, fall, all the snow will fall out of that. So once it get stuck, then all the this snow will get accumulated. It's not that only flat roof will be having the snow cover. These inclined roofs also have those covers as well. So with this problem cannot be sought out.
Yes, sir, but when temperature rises, na, snow will melt down and it will drop like water. So it will clear automatically. But if it is a flat roof, then it is difficult if proper slope is not given. Even the water will not uh, flow. It has to be clean.
But construction of these kind of structures also become difficult sometimes. If you will look for this construction, then most of the items or this concrete and all these things cannot be carried to those places due to the improper transportation facility, you can say. So local materials are only utilized in that cases. So construction also becomes sometimes some of the reason for having those kind of slopes, and it's not obvious that all the buildings is having this flat roof or it is having pitched roof. So there can also be a question which is most suitable. So some benefits are there for this flat roof, some benefits are there for pitched roof as well. So which should be opted. So if there is if you are talking about warm and humid climate conditions that prevails in Assam, or where there is heavy this rainfall, so in that region, without any doubt, you can say this pitched roof will be very very good, or inclined roof will be very very good, because whatever the water will be coming, it will easily get out. So it is very very good for those reasons. But if you are talking about the snow, so there is not much effect of this flat roof or the this inclined roof in the this transmission or the this throwing this snow out of the surface, so they easily get stick to the surface and makes a layer in both the cases. It's not much difference in both of them, but in case of this where heavy rainfall is there, so it creates huge difference, that I mean to say.
Okay,
Fine.
sir. Actually, I was comparing that's Shimla House and this Leh Ladakh. So they have a very similar climate, but the difference in traditional architecture, vernacular architecture. So that's why the question
No, it was very
came to
obvious
my mind.
question and I appreciate
Yeah.
that one. That's fine. So there will
Okay.
be some sort of this constraint of construction as well as availability of material as well as, and apart from that, as I was saying, the how for how long the snow is there or this cold climate condition is prevailing. So based on that, you will have to opt which objective is most suitable for you, or how much weightage you want to give to which of the objective, whether in trapping most of the sunlight for most of the time of the year it is good, or if there is only snowfall for some sort of or some sort of period of the year, so whether they will go for that. So those decisions people need to take. Fine.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for your wonderful question. So
Thank
let's
you,
move to
sir.
the next question, question number 5. Here is question number 5, and I hope this answer, question to this answer will also be given by all of you correctly. So why are the windows in the Ladakh having large on the sun facing side? The similar question was asked in case of this Rajasthan, whether larger size of windows should be preferred in the Rajasthan areas or not. So that you have answered it correctly. So I think this would not be any issue with answering with this question as well. Yeah. So this concept is clear to all of you, in which region what should be the size of the windows and why. So all of you have answered it correctly. To in order to maximize the sunlight during the cold winters, it is preferable. Fine. So let's move to the sixth question. So what is the primary reason for dome shaped region or dome shaped design of igloos? So this also we have discussed earlier questions in other questions. So based on that, you can answer circular shape or dome shape, why it is beneficial, why they are preferring this kind of shape. So that thing also you can answer from the two case study about the cold climate condition and the hot climate condition that I have shown in the through ECBC climate zone finder. In that both the cases also you can find there will always be minimum surface to volume ratio was preferred, either it is cold climate or this warmer climate conditions. In both the cases, it will reduce the heat gain or the heat loss, whichever is applicable. So I don't think anybody of you will be able to mark it wrongly or answer it wrongly. So C is the right answer for this one. Sivaling is saying B. Rest is saying
Yeah, I corrected it later.
okay. So now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. Let's move to the seventh question then. Here is the seventh question. Zulu huts from South Africa and Toda huts from southern India are identical in design. Is it true or false? So two examples are there in front of you. So based on that you can answer whether both are identical in design or not. So answer to this question is false. Let me correct both of you. So these Zulu huts and the Tada huts having they are using the similar materials if you will go in detail, but the designs are not identical. You can see the house designs examples or photos which have been shown to you. These house designs are not similar for those reasons. Why? Because each is having unique cultural and the environmental adaptation. For those building material is similar, which they are using their local materials in both the houses construction, but due to the unique culture they are having, they are accordingly and the environmental adaptation of the particular region, they are constructing it separately with the same construction material. They are not completely identical. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, some are making some sort of painting on their walls to show their culture, show their unique culture. So those discussions were made in the, I think now it will be clear. Then we will moving to the next question. If everybody is fine, then we can move to the next question. Question number 8. Can we
Yes,
move?
sir.
Okay, thank you. Here's the 8th question. The traditional architecture in the MN often use combination of stone and wood for construction. This is true or false? Just now we have discussed in the previous questions which material they are using. I think this answer all of you will be giving the right. So all of you are saying true false mix of answers. So I will ask whoever they are saying this answer to be true, they can open the slide number. Let me inform you the slide number as well as where the discussion about these houses were made. Which house is this? This MN. Yeah, slide number 21. There you can open, and it was clearly written in the slide number 21 that these houses are made up of stone and mud. All of you can find it out. Whoever have answered it true, that wood is mainly used. So wood is not the construction material in those regions, since due to the unavailability or limited availability of wood, you can say. So stone and mud will be the right answer, not stone and wood.
Yes, sir.
You can see the slide 21, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I hope now it will be clear. Let's move to the next question. Question number 9. The compact design of houses in the cold climates helps to conserve the heat. This is true or false? So this is now very simple because previously we have discussed in detail about that concept. So all of you read the question carefully, and then I think all of you will be able to answer it correctly. The compact design of houses in the cold climates helps to conserve the heat. Yeah, so all of you have given it correctly, and now it is clear also this compact design is, or in other words, you can say minimum surface to volume ratio is preferred in the cold climate condition in order to conserve the heat inside of the building. Fine, let's move to the 10th question. Here is the 10th question. The use of the bamboo in the Japanese traditional architecture is due to its rapid renewability and cultural significance.
So ninth answer is true, sir.
Yeah, you can read it again, and you try to answer it by yourself. Is it true or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's answer to this question, question number 10. Is it true or false? Question number 10. Yeah. So this is also true. This bamboo is extensively used in the Japanese houses or traditional architecture, and it is made due to its rapid renewability, fitting with the country's limited nature's resources and cultural practices. Fine. So can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this next question will be based on the codes and standards that you have discussed. So, which traditional houses in the Rajasthan is known for its circular design and use of mud mixed with cow dung that we have discussed? This answer you can give it fast. 12 people have joined. Yeah. So B is the right answer for this question. The Bunga houses in Rajasthan, they are very famous for this kind of practices. You are, all of you are right. So let's move to the next question. Question number 2. In addition to the, or in the traditional houses of Simla, what is the purpose of steep sloped roofs? That also we have discussed recently in one of the question. There was a detailed discussion on that. So I hope all of you will be giving it correctly. Second question's answers. Yeah. So with that discussion, I think everybody is clear. So B is the right answer for this one. Everybody is fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here is the third question then. The Zulu huts in South Africa primarily utilize which material for their construction?
It's B, sir, bamboo and thatch.
Yeah, B is the right answer for this one. And why only these? Because due to the scarcity of the trees, so they are using the thatch more. And why bamboo? Bamboo is rapidly growing, or rapidly renewable, you can say. Fine. So let's move to the fourth question then. This question answers also, I think you will be giving the right only, because it is just asking you in context of the traditional architecture, what is the significance of using locally available materials? If you are using locally available material, or else you are bringing vernacular houses, so what will be the advantages or significance of those houses? Whether it will be helping you to reduce the construction cost, or it will be ensuring the cultural authenticity, or it will be minimizing the environmental impact that it will be causing if you are bringing some of the materials, cement or something else from huge or long sources, roadways or trainways, so it will be causing some sort of environmental impact as well. So what do you think, which will be the right answer for this question?
D.
D is the right answer, all of the above. So utilizing the local available materials in the traditional architecture, it will help you to reduce both this transportation cost, or it will be helping you to prevent this. preserve your cultural heritage, and it will lessen the environmental impact. Fine. So somebody wants to join, I think. Yeah, I'm right. Let me admit. 14 people admitting to me. So everybody, can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I think everybody is enjoying and everybody is answering it correctly. Here is the next question, question number 5. What is the main goal of energy conservation building code? Main goal of energy conservation ECBC. Why or with what purpose this ECBC standards were met? Try to give answer to this question. N is not the option. So B, fine. Yeah, so all of you are saying these ECBC construction, these were made only, or the main purpose of this ECBC role was to set minimum energy efficiency standards for the commercial buildings. Fine. So all of you are in the right direction, and also one of the function or main goal was also there to ensure the comfort or health of the productivity, as well as means it is not that you will be setting the option B what it says. It is not that you will be only trying to minimize the energy consumption or energy efficiency of the commercial buildings. At the other or at the same time, you will be ensuring the comfort and healthy and productivity environment for the occupants as well as. This was the main aim. So option B will be the right answer. That's fine. Let's move to the next question. Question number 6. Which of the following building certification program is governed by the BEE? In short, we call it BEE or Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, they govern which of the building certification program? LEED, IGBC, GRIHA or ACBC? So, Elena is very fast. So, whoever is having doubt, they can refer to the slide number. Let me tell you the slide number for this question, because if I am getting the mix of answers, then I will be referring to the slide. For, yeah, so you can, all of you can open the slide number this 11 and 12. So there it was discussed very well that ECBC was the right answer, option D. So Elena and Ajinkya, they have given the right answer. Everybody is able to find it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so ECBC is the right answer for this question. Let's move to the next question. Question number 7. Which standard is used by LEED to define base case and prescriptive measures for energy efficiency? So LEED utilizes which standard? All of you try to give answer. This was discussed in the slide number 23 of this third lecture of week 10. So you can go through that third lecture, slide number 23. and all of you answered it correctly. Let me see how many of you have answered it correctly to this question number 7. Yeah, so all of you have given it correctly. Option B, ASHRAE 90.1 is the right answer for this question, which uh, lead uses for defining the baseline or the prescriptive measures in the energy efficient building designs. Everybody is fine. Can we move to the next question? Question number 8.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here is question number 8. Then, which building feature is encouraged by ECBC to improve energy performance in a climate responsive design? So just now we have looked into the ECBC climate zone finder software or site. So in that you have seen which kind of features or strategy this ECBC were promoting in order to improve the energy performance of, or in order to construct a climate responsive design. So through that, see, whichever session I have taken initially in the class discussing about this ACBC climate zone finder, through that many of the answers to these questions you can easily give. That's why I have incorporated that session first. So this answer I think that all of you will be giving it correctly. Yeah. So all of you have given it absolutely correct. Option B. So from it is not encouraging the use of this active resources much. Mostly it is trying to incorporate the passive design features such as daylight or shading or tram wall, as we have seen, or cool roofs, so that we can construct a climate responsive designs. That's fine. Option B, I am fine with that, and everybody are, of you are also. So let's move to the ninth question. Here's the ninth question. IEA, Environmental Impact Assessment. So whether this was the mandatory program or this was the voluntary certification program for the large projects in India. So this was well discussed, and if somebody will be having different opinion, then I will be discussing it in detail and referring to the slide. So first, let me wait for others to answer, and then I will be seeing whether it is clear. All of you have given the right answer. Then I will be moving to the next question. Yeah. So again, Divyan is saying true, but it is not true. The rest, all of you are correct except this person. So as you can see, and for those who have answered it wrongly, or those who are saying it true, for them I would like to ask them and refer to the slide that was discussed in the slide number, which one it is, let me see, 1020. Yeah, so it was discussed in the slide number 12. There it was mentioned, or during the discussion it was told that this IEA, environmental impact assessment, it becomes very important, and that is mandatory certification program for the large projects. If you are having large project, so without this environmental impact assessment you cannot go ahead. This is, there were two options, whether it is voluntary certification or it is mandatory certification. So this IEA becomes mandatory certification for the large projects. It should not be like that your large project is hampering the environment, so you have to show one report or you have to get the certification that it is not hampering the environment much through this environmental impact assessment. So it is a mandatory, that's why it is false. Now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move to the next question then. Here's question 10. SP41. This SP41 you might have heard. So based on that, you try to answer whether this provides guidelines for calculating heat transmission and thermal performance in buildings or not. Pick it up. Try to answer to this question. Four, three. अच्छा. So you all of you can open to the slide number 27, and where the key contents about the SP41 was discussed. So from there you can answer it. So let me see how many of you have answered it correctly. Yeah, so all of you have answered it correctly only. So this SP41 provides guidelines for the calculating heat transmission and thermal performance in buildings. This is absolutely true. Everybody is fine with that. Nobody is having some sort of issue. So can we move to the next question then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, pardon. Somebody is want to say something.
No, sir. Move on.
Okay, fine. So then let's try to answer some of the questions based on the introductory lecture of whole building simulation. Here is the first question. So what is the primary purpose of whole building simulation for sustainable buildings? Why we are doing this? Out of the four options, try to choose one answer only. What is the primary purpose of whole building simulation for sustainable buildings? In terms of sustainable building, you have to answer it. Yeah. So it is very clear. So C is the right answer, and all of you have answered it correctly. To provide or to prove the compliance for green building rating programs, this whole building simulation becomes very essential, where we compare the proposed design or the proposed case with the base case, mainly to ensure that the building design meets or exceeds the performance required for green building rating systems. Fine. So let's move to the second question then. So this answer you should be able to this question's answer you should be able to give it correctly. Which software you will be preferring, or which software do you think is capable for performing whole building simulation out of the four options? Yeah. So design builder is the right answer for this question, which is one of the tool that was mentioned in the lecture videos. In the lecture videos, that the whole building simulation can be performed in this software, and then it incorporates all the building geometry material in this database as well as the energy uses pattern to access the building performance. Fine. So let's move to the next. Anybody is having some sort of doubt in question number 2, or can we move to the next question, question number 3?
Sir, Revit also can perform these simulations, right, with plugins?
Yeah, but this is not that much capable, because it is having this design builder software. It is having large database of regarding all the materials or this complaints criteria. So that's why if we are talking about the capacity of different softwares, through AutoCAD also what people do, they try to draw the building layout and then they import the design, and in Revit also it is same. Are you getting what I mean to say?
Yeah, sir. But Revit and with some sort of plugins, we can do simulations, right?
Yeah, but in this software, particularly in Design Builder, you will be seeing there is simulation engine EnergyPlus. EnergyPlus simulation engine is also there in this software, and all the different kinds of optimization or life cycle analysis or environmental impact analysis all can be done. That means whole building simulation, not only energy analysis I'm talking about.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so these different aspects of or different advantages of this software, when we will be dealing in the hands-on session or solving some of the examples, then we will looking how it is called as a whole building simulation softwares. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you for your concern. Here is the third question. In a whole building simulation, which property of material is crucial for accessing the energy performance? Yeah, B is the right answer for this one. Mainly we focus on the U value. Once we know the U value, then through some sort of numerical or analytical way also we can find the energy requirement of the building. So let's move to the next question, question number 4. So here is the question number 4. Material properties such as U value, solar heat gain coefficient, visual light transmittance are essential inputs for simulating glazing performance in whole building simulations. This is true or false?
True, sir.
Yeah. So this is true, and I don't think anybody will be having any sort of doubt in that. This statement is absolutely true. All these material properties we will be requiring for simulating the performance of a building or a glazing. It is in this case. Fine. Here is the fifth question. The base case in the building or whole building simulation is usually more energy efficient than the proposed case. Is it or isn't it? So whether your proposed case is better or your base case, what should be there? Hmm. So Elena is saying false and Sister Sridhar is also saying false. And both of you are absolutely correct. This base case in the building whole building simulation, this should not be more energy efficient than proposed case, because we whatever we are proposing based on some sort of simulations or some sort of modification in the design or construction or this incorporation of passive strategies. So this should be more energy efficient. Proposed case should be more energy efficient after the whole building simulation. So this statement is false, and I don't think anybody of you will be able have given it wrong answer. Yeah, false, false, false. Fine. Can we move to the next question?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here is the next question then. Question number 6. Whole building simulation includes factors like temperature, humidity, air movement, and radiation to access the comfort. So whether these factors are considered or not in whole building simulation. Yeah, true. So all these factors are considered because when we are doing the whole building simulation, we want to comfort the occupants. So occupants' comfort is not only dependent upon the temperature or humidity; it is dependent upon the various factors. Some of them are mentioned: temperature, humidity, air movement, all are or radiation. All needs to be considered. Well, fine. So can we move to the next question then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here is the
Yes,
next
sir.
question. Question number 7. The simulation process requires input about the geometry and the materials used in the building, but not the HVAC system. So, which is mandatory? It is talking about it should be given. If HVAC is not there, then also simulation can be performed. You should say like that. So, you have not familiar. You are not familiar with the software whole building simulation software DesignBuilder. When you will be doing, then I will be showing you that there are different tabs and different inputs it asks in each category, so that this simulation can be performed well. Otherwise, if there is any issue with the compliance criteria, or you can say any issue with the setback values, then it will be showing errors. So this is true or false. Let me see first what are all you are answering, and I will be having discussion again. B false, false. Yeah, so this is false. The comfort in the whole building simulation, you can say, or the active systems like HVAC, which as it mentioned, they are also an essential inputs in the simulation process, as they can significantly affect the energy consumption and the comfort levels. So it is saying that it is not important or it is not considered. So this is false. Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here is the next question. Question number 8. Which of the following is not a component considered in the thermal comfort out of the four options that I have discussed? Above also some of them are mentioned here, and which should not be considered as a component of thermal comfort. You know what thermal comfort is just about comfort, you can say. So let's see what people think. B. So it's not thermal comfort. It's about comfort. So when you're talking about comfort, so which of the factor you will consider, or which of the factor can cause you discomfort? You can answer. I think in another way. So whether low air movement or high air movement can be a factor or can be a component of comfort or not.
Yeah, air movement is a factor.
Yeah, and then noise levels, whether noise level can affect your comfort level or not.
It will.
Yeah, that will also.
Yeah, so this noise level will also be considered as a component, because we are not talking about only this thermal comfort, we are talking about general comfort, I should say, or comfort levels. So in that different factors are considered. There can be multiple factors of comfort. Let me go in detail of that one, so that this would be clear, much clear now. So let me go and explain you the difference between comfort levels. Fine. So screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this should be able to open. I don't know why it is not opening. So for that, let me share through mail. It will be better. Just give me 2 minutes, and then all the concept related to comfort, it will be clear. I hope most of you will be knowing that, but let me discuss for others as well, so that in the later time, if some questions related to this comfort level or the occupants will be coming, so you will not be getting confused with that. So, yeah, so here I can see. So let me show all of you from different system, so that I'm sharing another screen. I hope it will be visible to all of you, and then we will be having some small discussion on that. So the screen is visible. To all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here you can see here various factors influencing the comfort of building occupants. It is mentioned. So that comfort level, it can be again divided into, yeah, cursor is also moving, into different subcomponents. Thermal comfort is one of them. Then there is visual comfort. Then there is air quality comfort. So if you will see, then you will find in thermal comfort, these factors are considered: environmental factors, human factors, physiological factors, and in that's why this noise, as it was mentioned in the question, in thermal comfort it was asked. So noise can be also a part of thermal comfort because it is a subcomponent of this physiological comfort. Their temperature, humidity, airflow, radiation, or other human factors like amount of physical activities which you are doing or metabolic rates, this will also cause some sort of comfort, or you are comfortable or not, that will be dependent upon the metabolic rate or activity in which you are engaged with. So when I am talking about noise, so it was coming under the thermal comfort level or thermal comfort subsections. Apart from that, if you are also discussing about visual comfort, this is also comfort only. So if you are not feeling, your eyes are getting irritated or clear, or you're not getting proper intense of light illumination, so these will be some of the factors. Some of the factors are also considered as human factors under the visual comfort level only, where this due to aging it is coming, not you are not able to see. These are also kind of discomfort, but you cannot eliminate it, or you will be have, it is not depend, it is varying upon person to person. That's why it is human factor. Air quality, if you are saying, so it's CO2 levels or volatile compound or concentration of pollutants, all these you can consider into the comfort. Now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So some other answers you can give based on this discussion, if it will be asked, and you can separate out the difference. So let me share my this screen again. So that's why it was asked in this question. So thermal comfort, if you're talking about, so this air movement, this noise levels, fresh availability of air, this all it was talking about. So in water consumption was not told anywhere in the comfort level measurement. That's why it can be eliminated out easily. So option D was the right answer. I hope everybody will be able to appreciate it and understand it, but none of you have given it correctly except Elena and Sivlinga. So now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Can we move to the next question, all of you? I want the answers of all of you, that all of you are clear, then we can move.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So which of the following is not automatically included in the whole building simulation software database for glazing? So this you can answer based on the understanding of the lecture videos, but the correct answer to this you will be feeling, the real feeling you will be getting when you will be working with the whole building simulation software, that for sure we will be doing hands-on examples on the next session. Then I will be showing how you can set these values of for glazing, but not the occupant density. This is separate subsections. So option D is the right answer, and all of you have answered it correctly. This can be answered based on the understanding, but later on you will feel the answer as well. Fine. Then here is the 10th question. Occupancy schedules help in estimating internal heat gain and optimizing the use of sensors to control HVAC and lighting works. Is it true or false? So all of you answer to this question. Yeah, all of you have answered it as well as. So 2 is the right answer for this question, and the statement itself is clear that the occupancy schedule impacts the internal gain. If you will not schedule it correctly, then obviously it will impact the internal heat gain, and it will help you to optimize the HVAC and lighting loads for the energy savings through the use of sensors. Fine. So let's move to the last question. It is based on the lecture 5, and it was on the introduction to the whole building simulation software only, lecture 50, or the fifth lecture of week 10. So here are some of the questions, and that will be the last 10 questions for the sample problems. With this we will be ending to our sample problems. Let's finish it fast. So first question is there, which of the following is used to compare the energy performance of a proposed case with a best case in the whole building performance method? So I was audible to all of you, or I was not audible? I think voice was low.
Audible, audible, sir.
Okay,
Audible, sir.
okay. I thought it is low, so you might be not able to listen. Fine. So this answer also you all of you try to give. Yeah, some index was discussed, performance index with all of you. Yeah. So option A is the right answer. All of you have marked it correctly. This EPI, Energy Performance Index of the proposed case, is compared with that of best case, and then we try to answer which case is better. And this EPI is nothing but the normalized rate of energy consumption for each of the following cases. Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here is the second question. So which standard is commonly used for creating the base in energy simulation when complying with the ASHRAE requirements? Appendix G or Appendix F? And I don't think other two options anybody will be opting. B. Yeah. B is the right answer. Appendix G of ASHRAE 90.1. This is the standard which is commonly used for creating the base case in energy simulation. And mind this standard ASHRAE 90.1. And the next class, when I will be showing the whole building simulation demo, then I will showing you where this ASHRAE 90.1 standard is mentioned during the simulation. Fine. Let's move to the next question then. Here's the next question, question number 3. In the context of the energy compliance, what percentage of the total energy cost is generally allocated for a process energy in the baseline building? Try to answer to this question as well as. So Elena is very fast everywhere. Let me take the answers of others as well and then open the question again. So what will be the, and others here they can refer to the slide number 4 of lecture 5. You are having some sort of doubt with the number or values. Yeah, slide number 3 you can refer, then you will find in the last it is mentioned. C, 25%. So 25% is the right answer for this question. The default process energy cost is 25% of the total energy cost for the baseline building. It is clearly written in the slide number 3. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's move to the next question then. Question number 4. How is the building's orientation handled in the baseline case compared to the proposed case? So in different subsections about the proposed case and the base case was discussed. In that, how the orientation of the base case as well as the proposed case is done, that was also discussed. So answer to this also you can provide. Whether option A is correct or B is correct, or option C, which says the baseline case is simulated for all four orientation and an average is taken. So out of that, let's see which you think to be the right answer. C. So C is the right answer for this question. That says the baseline case is simulated for all the four orientation and an average is taken. Everybody is fine.
Yes, sir.
So nobody is having any doubt. Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. So here is the next question for all of you then. The proposed case allows the use of different materials and systems from those of prescribed base case, as long as they follow the architectural design. So when you are comparing two things, whether you will be having same material or systems or you will be having different. So I don't think this answer is very difficult. Try to read the question, then you will be easily able to answer. In the proposed case, can you change different materials or systems or not, or you will be sticking to that only? So if you are not changing, then how will you be proposing the new case or proposing the energy efficient case, whether it is or not? So let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. 2 persons are saying true. So the correct answer is true only. So I would request Elena or Siviling, any of you can explain why it is true.
So baseline case is just a standard what they give.
Yeah.
So when we are doing a building project, we should see that whatever how we want the building, that will be within the baseline case. It shouldn't exceed the standards what they are given to us.
Yeah.
So then only the energy performance index will be sustainable enough for us as well as other certifications and etc.
Baseline is only the minimum standard,
Hmm.
so that we can always improve upon that. It should
And
not be
that
less than that.
improvement you can only do when you will be choosing or you
Yes,
will be using different materials and you will be doing it in trial, you mean to say. Am I right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm fine with explanation of both of you and I thank both of you. So everybody is fine. Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here is the next question then. The reflectivity of roof surface in the base case is set at 0.5 by default, while the proposed case can use cool roofs with higher reflectivity. So whether the base case is having 0.5 or 0.3, what you have studied?
0.3.
Yeah. So this statement is incorrect.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So 0.3 will be the right answer for that. Fine. Here is the seventh question then. What is the energy performance index used for the whole building simulation? Indicate, you can say. Whether it calculates the water consumption, whether it measures the daylight exposure, or whether it assesses the air quality. What does EPI does? Hmm? Seventh question answer I would like to see from all of you. Two people have given B. All of you try to read the question and answer it correctly. And after next three questions, we will be doing 10 previous year questions. Then we will be ending our session. So I think we are left with just 13 questions for the day. And that we will be doing fast so that we can finish it within 2 hours of session timing. So for this question number 7, B is the right answer. How many of you have answered it correctly? So earlier in the previous question also I was discussing this EPI. It is referring to the normalized energy consumption. It is not talking about the water consumption. Neither it is talking about the this daylight exposure. Because if you will talk about its unit also, then you will see EPI is written kilowatt hour per year or meter square. You can say. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, detailed values of this EPI of each different houses, whether it is in Noida, Zero Energy building, or this we may have already done. So I don't want much discussion on that. So can we move to the next question then?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So which factor is not considered in the baseline case for building envelope glazing? Baseline case. Yeah. So which option you think to be the right one? Option D. Yeah. So D is the right answer for this question. Question number 8. Setting devices are not included in the baseline cases as they are a passive design strategy which is only incorporated in the proposed case setting. So let's move to the next question then. Question number 9. In the base case, the building geometry and the surface area differ from the proposed case. So this is a question similar to the previous question that we have done just now. So this is a tricky question as well. So let's see how far depth you have understood this proposed case and base case difference. So I would like to see and know how many of you can answer it correctly. Read it carefully and then answer. So let's see the answers then. False. Yeah. So false is the right answer for this question. All of you have given it correctly, answered it correctly. So as you can see, this geometry and the surface area, this needs to be same. As it was saying, this base case and the proposed case will be having different. No, this geometry and the surface area remains same in both the cases. Only the materials and the systems may differ. Which system you are opting for heating, cooling, or which material you are opting for design. This you can change in the proposed case, but the geometry or the surface area, it should not be changed. This is the main conclusion of the above question or above discussion. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here's the last question of the sample paper chapter. 5. 10th question, it is for lightning control, both base case and the proposed case will incorporate photo sensors and daylight controls. What do you think? This is true or false? Yeah. So this time also all of you are correct. This is false. The only the proposed case can incorporate this lightning control, photo sensors or daylight controls, while the base case is just the standard case. It does not incorporate. Fine. So with this we came to an end of our problem solving session of the sample problems. Now we will be moving to the next chapter or the next part of this problem solving session, that we do solving the previous year questions. So here are just 10 questions, and I hope every questions we will be finishing within 1 minute of time span, and then we will be completing our problem solving session fast. So here is the first question, and based on the previous 50 sample paper questions, I hope all of you will be able to answer to these last 10 questions correctly. So let's answer to the first question. These Punga huts in the Rajasthan have circular plants because of. So these sensors, all of you can give orally as
B.
well as in the text box, whichever you prefer. So this is not, now we are just come to an end of when we are just testing our knowledge, and we have rectified our concept, revised it. So B is the right answer for this question. Everybody is fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I don't think this discussion is needed. We have discussed about this circular plans or circular shape or minimum surface to volume ratio a lot. Fine. Now it is in your mind. So Mumbai falls under which climatic zone? What do you think? Based on the different 5 different climatic zone I have discussed in the initial class. So
Warm and
yeah. So Mumbai is falling under which climate zone? Others also try to answer.
Warm and humid.
Yeah. So it's warm and humid climate zone, where it is a or in short you can also call it as a tropical climate with high humidity and warm temperatures. Fine. So I think we have missed the question number 2. Here's the question number 2. We have directly moved to the question number 3. So this answer to this question also you can give, which is not the characteristic of vernacular architecture.
universal.
Yeah, they are unique, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so universal will be eliminated out, and other resources, resource equity, embodied energy, renewability, all can be seen in different vernacular architectures. Fine. And it is not universal. There is no standardized approach for that. That everybody is following the same standard or same universal codes. They are just constructing based on their understanding and their adaptability towards the surrounding environment. So there is no universal codes or standards for that. That's why option D is not the right answer. Fine. So with these 3 questions you have also already finished. Let's move to the fourth question then. The main purpose of having a boundary in the Muslim mud hut is to. Why they were having the boundary? This was well discussed in the detail. I hope some one of you can be able to recall it. What will be the advantages of building these boundaries in these mud huts?
To avoid the entry of sand coming into the.
Yeah, so this was discussed in the lecture or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So option B is the right answer. Prevent the entry or sand from entering the sand into the huts. That's fine. So can we move to the fifth question then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here is the fifth question then for all of you. EIA is applicable to. Why you are doing EIA, and for which projects it has been done, it should be done, that I have discussed in detail. So this you should be able to answer.
Large developments.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Option C. Wherever there will be large projects, then you will have to submit, or it was the mandatory to submit this environmental assessment, impact assessment certification that I am discussing about in the some of the question paper, sample question paper, isn't it? So it was asked in
Yes, sir.
another words or in another sense, but the concept was same that you can apply here as well. Fine. So option C you have marked and marked it correctly. So let's move to the sixth question then. Here is the sixth question. This also, I hope you will be able to answer it correctly. This standard I have discussed when we were discussing the chapters, different parts of ventilation. So which ASHRAE standard is there, which comply or which shows the standards for ventilation and acceptable indoor air quality?
55.
No, it is for thermal comfort.
62.1.
ASHRAE 55 is for the thermal comfort.
62.1.
Yeah, ASHRAE 62.1 is the right answer for this question, which specifically addresses the ventilation and the indoor air quality to ensure healthy building environments. So you have to revise things, what I feel. And with this, let's move to the next question. Everybody is okay with 62.1, or anybody is having any sort of doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, if anybody is facing any sort of doubt, then they can speak. Then I will be showing the these slides where it has been written or where it has been discussed. I think it is clear. So let's move to the seventh question then. Wait, let's move to the seventh question. Here is the seventh question. Meanwhile, hello, हाँ विपिन बोलो. हाँ हाँ बोलो. मेरे पास तो सब है, लेकिन मैं थोड़ा अभी बिजी हूँ. 10 मिनट में फोन करता हूँ तुमको.
True.
हाँ 10 मिनट में करता हूँ तुमको फोन में. So, sorry for the interruption. So answer to this question, I think you have given in the chat box or not. Yeah. So Elena is also saying two. So two is the right answer. This occupancy schedule when we will be providing in your whole building simulation, that will be helping you in estimating the energy performance of the buildings by optimizing the lighting loads as well as ventilation loads with the help of sensors. That's fine. So let's move to the next question then. Eighth question that was asked in the previous year, and let's see how many of you are able to give the right answer to this question as well. Which of the following characteristics is not required in a qualified simulation tool as per ASHRAE 90.1 2007? Section G 2.2.1. Yeah, that's a very good question. It was asked. So last from the last slide, you can answer this question. Codes, standards and codes where it was discussed. It is asking which is not required in the qualified simulation tool. So which you think is not important parameter for the simulation?
D.
Option
D.
D. Yeah. Option D is the right answer. This ASHRAE 90.1 2007 does not require a simulation tool to include appliance model numbers. What you will do with the model number of the refrigerator and all? Fine. Everybody is fine.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. So let's move to the second last question of the day. Here is the ninth question. Yeah. So let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. So don't be in hurry. Try to answer it correctly in a single go.
Both.
So both is not the right answer. That is was accepted last year.
B, sir.
Yeah.
90.1.
90.1 as which was discussed previously also when you are doing performing the simulation, whole building simulation. And next class when I will be also showing you the demo of whole building simulation, then I will be showing which standard or which this ASHRAE compliance criteria is followed. So ASHRAE 90.1 provides the guideline for the energy performance which has to be used for the defining the best case scenarios in the simulations. ASHRAE 55 is not there. It is just talking you about the comfort criteria. For the building simulation criteria, 90.1 is preferred. Fine. It is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So initially 12 people were there. So let's move to the last question then. Traditional houses in Simla have two skin layer walls creating the projected peripheral surface with the outer skin typically made of wood. Is it true or false? So
True.
Simla house discussion was made. You can refer to that slide where discussion on the design and materials where about the houses in the Simla was discussed. So with that you can answer to this question. So each and every slide is very important. Questions can be framed from any of the slides. So what is the right answer for this one?
True.
Yeah.
True.
So true is the right answer. All of you are right. This double skin design in the traditional houses of Simla, they provide thermal insulation because there is double skin there, and with wood, you all know this is also made or it is also kept in the primary material for the outer screen, which acts as an insulation, which is required for the cold climate conditions like Simla. So with this, we came to an end to our week 10 problem solving session, and we have discussed initially a bit about ACDC climate zone finder, and I was also willing to discuss some or give you some brief about this climate consultant software. But as most of you have said that you are familiar with the interface, and also it has been discussed in the lecture, so it is fine. So those were the two softwares or the initial understanding of the strategies or architecture you should be knowing, or it is for the beginners you can say. And now we will be moving to the detailed analysis of the whole building through building simulation software DesignBuilder that we will be doing in the next week lecture, as well as through the demo of some sort of small example I will be solving in front of you if the timer permits. And I hope all of you will be coming to the next session after installing the this design builder software, and it is just a free trial you can install, that don't need to pay anything for this software. It is 1 month free trial it provides. For practice you can do it, and for this uh, course learning point of view also you can do it. That will definitely benefiting you in your future if you will be having familiar with this, and if you are working in this area, you are having interest with this zero energy building, zero emission buildings, building optimization, energy performance analysis. So this will be an handy tool for you. So this you can learn. And with this I would like to end to the today's problem solving session. Meet you all soon to the next session. And one more thing I would like to inform you that there may be one extra class for all of you, where we will be discussing the exam pattern and some important numerical questions out of all the week content. That summary of this will be given in the extra class that may happen, that we are thinking about. So that will be done after the week 12 lecture, that will be scheduled on the uh, after week 12 lecture videos next Tuesday, that I have thought of. Let's see how the response comes about that. So with this, I would like to thank all of you for your wonderful cooperation and in,
Sir,
participation.
sir, when can we expect this admit card, sir?
Yeah, this admit card, it will be given to you within before 10 days of the exam. So it will be
Thank
around
you.
16 or 17 you will be getting it. Is it clear?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So nobody is having another doubt, so we can close this session. Thank you.
No, sir.
Sir, in the lecture, ma'am had told that for the week 11, we had to download a software. I don't know which software to download
Yeah, that software
for the whole
discussion.
building
Yeah, yeah.
simulation.
Design builder.
Design builder, it is there. That in one of the question also it was asked which all building
Okay,
simulation
thank
software
you.
you will be downloading. So you can download it and download the free trial version of it. It is for 1 month. Fine. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you have to download design builder software. It is for 1 month. Free trial version you have to download. With this you
Sir,
can practice.
free trial is for 1 month only, sir.
Yeah, 1 month only. You can use it for the 1 month and you can get familiar with the interface and how it works. And 1 month I think is enough for this course also, and you can learn a lot of things in that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank,
thank you. Thank you all of you.
thank you, sir.